Hey, good evening. Hey everyone, how's the audio? How's the video? Hey, hello. guys, please let me know if this is working. Yeah, finally I won one game. Yeah, tough day. Hey Freedom, how are you? Thanks. Yes, yes, I play Petrov. I have been playing Petrov for a long time, like I don't know, more than 20 years. I have some video about it in the channel, how to play Petrov. Yeah, it's a very interesting opening, but especially if you're not like super aggressive, if you don't enjoy, positions too complicated, it might work fine for you. What's your rating, Freedom? Okay, well, yeah, 14 something on chess.com, and also only 1200 in Blitz. Okay, okay. Yeah. It's not like the perfect opening for that level, but again, if you like positions not too complicated, usually you can get that with Petrov. So yeah, I'm sure if you really like it, I'm sure you can. I mean, the most important thing is to select one opening and and play, right? Like get familiar with the ideas more or less, and just play. All the openings are more or less good. Maybe you will learn Caro-Kann. Okay, okay. Yeah, as I told you, any opening is fine, right? You just learn, get, just select one of those and get familiar with the ideas. And yeah, yeah. This endgame was totally winning. The right plan was use the knight to attack his pawns and use your king to control his passed pawn. In that way, I don't even have to defend this pawn because he won't be able to get here because I get the pawns over there. So yeah, I made I selected the wrong plan, right? I mean, of course, it's time pressure. But yeah, the right plan is to come over here with the knight. What about the Scandinavian? Have you seen this line? I mean, it's the title of the stream. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's not so easy. This Scandinavian when you don't. I mean, when you don't know the idea. I mean, when you don't have the right ideas. If you have not studied it before you play it, it's not so easy, right? So that's the thing with Scandinavia. But yeah, it's a very interesting line. I mean, especially for these levels, like beginners, intermediate, it might work very well. I just won a game in 3 moves with Scandinavia, so it's a good line. I don't know if you saw this game. I was playing with black. I mean, of course, I was playing Scandinavia. Yeah, he. I mean, when he loses the pawn is fine, right? I mean, this is not a mistake. I mean, it's probably dubious, but this is theory. There's a line with this trap. Okay, let me just show you the trap. There's a line where white plays knight here. I mean, of course, it's a mistake, right? He loses the knight. That's the actual mistake. But here it's not lost. Here he can try this idea with knight here. Let me see if I remember how this trap works. Okay, so if I defend, they play d3. If I capture, they play bishop takes. Exactly. And then if I play h6, white could be winning. Exactly. Yeah. So the way to win for white, I'm going to say it. Exactly, knight f7. Exactly. Because after king takes f7, they just play what move? Bishop g6. Exactly. Yeah, very well. Very well, that's the idea. So yeah, knight takes pawn. I mean, if I don't capture, there's a fork, so probably they are winning or fine at least. And then they discover, and then they get the queen. And if I play e5, they are in time to castle, right? So I don't have a discover or anything. So yeah, they can just castle. So yeah, that's the thing with this line. Uh, that's why I'm saying that this is not really, it's not f3, it's not really a horrible idea, especially for bullet. I think it's a nice try, but yeah, this is just a blunder. This is just resigning. I missed some mate here. Okay. So this check, check, check. Yeah, check. Yeah, I didn't have mate. So I can accept any challenge, freedom, or any question or anything you want, right? As you prefer. Feel free to, to suggest anything. Otherwise, I just continue, playing bullet. Hey, Anna Mary, how are you? Yeah, exactly. It's a very interesting opening in Scandinavia. Yeah, I didn't realize I was not really sharing all the puzzles as I was advancing. But yeah, I got like 41. Let me see if I can fix that, right? I mean, how do I fix this? Okay, wait. Yeah, like this. Yeah. Exactly, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I see. Yeah, it's different when you're doing puzzles. Yeah. Well, so do you want to know a little about Scandinavian or what do you prefer? Do I just keep doing anything? Or do you want to hear about Scandinavian, some basic ideas? Yeah, exactly. It's very entertaining, but also very useful, very helpful to get better, right? So yeah, of course. All the puzzles, right? All the puzzles you can do, either 3 minutes, 5 minutes, survival, just regular rated puzzles. All the puzzles you can do are going to help in one way or the other. Hey, Freedom, glad you're back. Yeah. So I was asking John and Mary if you wanted to hear some basic ideas about Scandinavian, or we just chat a little. Yeah. Yeah, I have some delay between I speak and I can see your. I mean, I speak, you can hear me, and I see your comment, I can react to your comment. There are like 20 seconds, right? At least between one thing and the other. Yeah. Well, Scandinavia, in 45, they have to capture, right? If they want to get anything, they need to capture. Then queen takes d5, and then knight c3. So this is the position where you have some options like queen d6, queen d8, or queen a5. And my favorite line is queen a5, it's like the classical line. But also this queen d6 is very, it's like in trending, they play it more or less often. But I don't really like it that much. I've always played this queen a5. Of course, this is an option, right? Anyone can play it. If you guys like it, you can study and try it. It's not my favorite. So the idea with queen a5 is like the classical approach in Scandinavian. Here, for example, they usually play like d4. It's not the only move, but it's one of the main lines. I see very often in online chess before, and again before against before with a capture. Not really dangerous, but it's a little tricky. Nothing too special. Yeah, exactly. Queen a5 is like the classical. Queen d6 and queen d8 are playable as well. Queen d8 is like the least played, the least common, we should say. But it's totally playable, right? I mean, your piece is at the beginning, at the initial position. Your pawn's at the initial position. So it's like you're just starting the game without the pawn on d7. But the thing is that your position is very solid. You don't have any weaknesses. So you can still try it, right? Like that's the idea. Like I'm going to develop my pieces and I have a solid position. Something like that happens in this line, but with the queen a little bit more active. But also the queen is a target at the same time. In general, this is a little better. This queen a5. Well, usually they play d4, you play knight f6, they play knight f3, and then you need to play this move c6. This move is super important in Scandinavian because you're dominating the knight, but also you're clearing c7 for your queen. So at some point when your opponent plays the move bishop d2, you can play queen c7. If there is some kind of threat, you know you're fine. Yeah, I play queen a5. I play queen a5. So here after c6, again, white can play many things. I guess this is like the main line, but that's not the only line, right? They can just develop like bishop d2, like there's a 95 idea here. There are many ways they can play here. Basically, the idea is that you want to develop the bishop, you want to develop the pawn, move the pawn, and you might need to put the queen on c7 if there are too many threats. But also you can develop your bishop over b4 if you see there are too many threats, and then you're going to castle, usually kingside, but also there's a line where we castle queenside. So let me see if I remember the line. So bishop c4, bishop f5, bishop d2, e6, queen e2, knight d7. Exactly in this line when they castle queenside, you can play like and you have many ways to play one more time. Like bishop b4 is a line, and queen c7 is your line. But basically, the idea is that you can decide if in a couple of moves whether to castle kingside or queenside, depending on what happens. You can decide. As you can see, it's a totally normal, solid position. If you castle kingside, you can expand later over here. You can use this square for your knight. This square. And it's totally playable, totally interesting. Anyone can win. The other line is when they just play something normal like castling, e6, and let's say, I don't know, bishop g5, knight d7, normal things like this. Rook e1, bishop to e7, knight e5. Knight e5 is annoying. Let's stop here, and let's say this is fine. The idea is that you want to castle, of course. Maybe queenside is an option, but it's not like the most common. But yeah, this 95 move I just played for white is annoying, right? Because if you castle, he's taking, and then he's getting your bishop. So if you play this, he takes, and he gets your bishop. So 95, what should we play in a situation like this one in Scandinavian? I guess rook d8 is a move first, because you need to prevent that threat. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess rook d8, right? I mean, you can also trade, but that doesn't look good. Yeah, rook d8 looks normal. Okay, let me check with the engine. Um, exactly, rook d8 is totally okay. And we are fine. I mean, this is totally normal. We are good. This is a move we need to play anyway, so it's fine. The next move we're castling anyway. So, yeah, that's the idea in Scandinavia. That's how we play it. I mean, of course, there is much more theory, right? A lot of things can happen. But basically, that's what we need to know among beginners or intermediate level. We can just play it like this, like put the queen on a5, play knight, pawn, and bishop, and keep developing after that. Probably like pawn, knight, and bishop somewhere, either e7 or b4. That's the idea. Your queen can go to c7 if you feel in danger. If you feel there is a threat, you can go back to c7, and that's pretty much it. I mean, that's a very simplified way to understand Scandinavian, but for this level, it works. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's the idea. I don't know if you have any question about Scandinavian. Specific question. Another line here is when they play 95. That's something they can try. It's also a more or less famous line. I guess you won't see it that often at this level, but the line is still there. They can still try it. So for example, 95, you just play bishop here, and this is the idea that they want to connect the knight with the bishop attacking here. But that's not really a problem. You just play here e6. They can try g4, bishop g6. They can try h4, and I think we just play here knight d7 because we are taking this knight and then taking with check. So they need to play knight takes, and then h5. In this position you can play bishop e4, you're attacking the rook. I'm not going to continue beyond this because I don't think it makes sense. I don't think among beginners or intermediate level we're going to see so much theory. But yeah, that's how a common line, an important line in Scandinavian continues. Yeah, you don't need to worry about that. I mean, exactly. That's why you have the pawn on c6, right? If they play bishop d2, you can play immediately queen c7. Immediately. I mean, you don't need to play, but you can play it. For example, if they play bishop d2, they're not really threatening anything. I mean, even if they play knight e4 or knight e5, I mean, knight e5 is a blunder, you just take it. So they can play knight e4, you just move your queen, it's totally fine. They can play knight b5, just move your queen. They're totally fine again. So they don't really have any discovered. You don't need to get too nervous about this. I mean, of course, be aware of it. Don't forget it. But it's not threatening anything. So usually you just play here bishop f5. And then they can try to discover directly, or they can play something like bishop c4 or like knight e5. Those are the ideas here. Exactly. Those are the three ideas. Bishop c4, knight e5, and knight e4. But again, there's nothing to worry about knight e4. Just move your queen back to c7 is fine. And knight takes. You can even capture with g if you want. If you want to make the game more asymmetric, just capture with g and you're good. But also with e is fine. I guess with c is the main line. So let's check it. G is main line. So yeah, g is totally fine. It's main line. G takes f6. There's nothing wrong with this. I mean, your king is a little discovered, but your bishop is going to be over here. Maybe if you need, you're going to put the bishop there. So yeah, you don't need to worry that much about the bishop on d2. I mean, don't forget it. Don't forget that the bishop is there, but immediately it's not a real threat. Okay. Well, guys, we're about to finish. We have been like 1 hour already here. It has not been very, you know, crowded, but as always, I still appreciate you being here. I don't know if you have any question or anything else before we finish the stream. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, John and Mary, for being there. Exactly. Okay, well, if there's nothing else, then we finish here. I probably try to stream tomorrow again or something. I don't know, but yeah, the idea is to stream more or less often. So we'll see. Okay, well, bye bye. See you then in the next.